It's really good to have some nice music to work to, right? Keep our motivation up. Hi, thanks for watching. It's Trevor Russell here, business growth coach, client and sales strategist, speaker and author. Thanks so much for checking in. Excuse me, my music's still going here. Hey, thanks for checking in. So, as the video says, how can we uncover our natural talents and work to our strengths? I'm so excited to share this education video with you. It's actually part of my Attract Clients and Grow Sales video training series, which there's a link below, which takes you to that full program. However, as part of that program, and as something that I'm very passionate about, is the ability to know how to profile oneself so we know how we can work to our strengths and also profile potential employees, team members, and current employees and team members to really make sure that we understand how we're all naturally built and what our natural skills and talents are and how we can work productively to our full potential, and more so than anything, have more work satisfaction and also save us lots of money by employing the right people and putting people in the right positions, as opposed to being sold on a great resume and great interview, which can so often happen. And what do we find? That we've actually employed a person that is less than effective for the role. Not less than effective, but just possibly for the role, because as you'll learn, if you don't already understand this disc profiling, we all definitely have various strengths and weaknesses, not weaknesses, but things that we're good at, and some things that we're really not that good at and not built to do, and other things we're built really well to do. So what's the benefit of understanding how to profile ourselves and our team members by the use of understanding the DISC model? Well, here's some of the strengths that I wrote down, which I think is so important. DISC really helps us to find our natural strengths that we're all born with. Because I truly believe from my own experience and having worked with hundreds and hundreds of business people and team members, it's so apparent now, having profiled many people, that we are all built very differently. Some director styles, which we'll come to, don't like to believe that. Some styles believe that everyone should be like them, which can very often create problems within the company and the business and within yourself. However, the people that are more evolved as leaders that really understand the importance and know that people are built differently changes everything dramatically. What else? It is a great tool to learn the limitations of our own behavior, because we all have limitations. I'm going to share a story with you in a minute about some of my limitations that really affected me emotionally in a business that I had, and possibly even financially too. And then also really being able to build much better, more productive teams and employees and companies of people, because as we know, more so than ever, times are really changing now, where we really do need to have people working at their maximum potential, maximum productivity. And if you've got people in the right roles and responsibilities and recognize their natural talents and abilities and really help to develop those, you're going to get a much more happier teams and much greater results. And also it's going to help us to reduce the pain and frustration that comes with having people working in ineffective roles that they shouldn't be in, or not so much in. What else? DISC is a great tool to help prevent conflict and manage conflict, because as I'm going to go through with you, we are all built very differently. And so often, and I've experienced it myself, and I'm sure you have watching this, is so often conflict comes because yes, we're different. However, we don't understand, and maybe don't understand enough, how people are different and how to work with different styles of people so we can maximize relationships, or just accept, hey, you know what? They're not like me, I'm not like them, they operate this way, I operate this way, but how can we work together in a more productive, proactive, unified way to really run a successful business and career that gets us the results that we want and need to get to have happy, successful lives and businesses. And what else? DISC and understanding our profiles is a great way to grow our sales revenue and grow our client base, because when you understand in more detail the intricacies of how certain people are built and how to be able to develop those people to maximize the people that are good at generating clients and sales and revenue, it has a profound effect on the company's ability to attract more clients, grow sales revenue, grow profitability, reduce expenses. Very, very powerful way through this knowledge and understanding as to who is naturally built to generate sales and business, which we're going to go through in this education video that I'm about to go through with you. Okay, so before I get into the specifics of DISC, I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you're learning something. I want to share with you a very quick story. You may be able to relate. And why I'm telling you this story is because if for some reason you possibly feel dissatisfied within the work that you're doing, you may not be going mad. It may not be because of your boss or manager or you. It just could be that you're in an environment for a large amount of time that doesn't serve your natural talents and abilities. So where am I going with this story? Well, I once had a mortgage broking business, and I had this business for many years, and I was very pleased to say I built it from zero in a garage in Byron Bay actually, and grew it to a very, very successful business, and wrote over, I think, $500 million in home and investment and some development lending, and grew it to be a great business. However, very often and most of the time I was quite unhappy in this business. And the reason was because once I understood and learnt my profile and using the DISC profile, I realized that a lot of my work, which was down in this part of the quadrant, which was about processing and data and numbers and going through detail after detail after detail, and it was very much that introverted processing role where I uncovered that I'm actually quite a high I style, a high D style with a lot of support, or I can do this, I understand it, but it wasn't my natural strength to be in paperwork and applications and processing every day of the week. When I was really happy in my work and my business, I was up here seeing clients, working out what it is that they wanted, the direction they wanted to go, getting the plan together. And that was the part that I loved. And upon review, once I learnt this process, it made perfect sense for me why I was happier in some parts of my role and not so happy in other parts of my role. Now, I'm not saying that we can have this Pollyanna approach that we can just do all the things that we love. And if you are, that's fantastic. There are things that we all need to do. I have a business to run, as you probably do, or a career. We need to do finances. We need to do things. However, to be able to look at what we are doing and are we really moving, or are we in the area that are our more natural talents, where we can work to our strengths and have a lot more joy and satisfaction within our work, which is part of why I do this. I love helping people move forward. I love seeing people succeed. I love business. I love training. I love making money, and I love helping people make more money, but by being great at what they do. Great service, great skills, great abilities. So part of my journey has been, and I'm still on it, is by no way is it perfect. I continue to try and move myself to the place where I have my natural strengths. And this is what I do with a lot of my clients and the teams that I train, is to help them uncover and know each other's and work slowly but surely, sometimes quickly, to understand their strengths and move their career that way and move their team and structure that way. But I'll come back to that. Okay, so what did I learn through that whole process? I learned some pretty hard things. I learned that I was in the wrong business, and there were a lot of other elements that came with that too. But bottom line was, after the GFC, many things had changed in the finance sector for me, and I had been doing it for over almost 9 years. So I felt for me it was time to close that door. But it was challenging because there was a lot of things that happened to me financially, and it was a very, very challenging time for me. But part of what I did was I went on a journey to really have a look at what was important to me. what made me light up, what made me feel good. And I uncovered, like I said a moment ago, I like business. I really like sales and marketing. I like people. I like helping people. I like seeing companies improve and perform. So I started putting down a little plan, just scribbled on a bit of paper, and started going on a journey to uncover what it was that I wanted to do. And I actually ended up buying a business coaching business with a very good friend of mine and a great mentor of mine, Nick Allen, actually. If you know Nick or you're watching this and you've heard of him, outstanding gentleman, taught me the most life-changing skills. It was probably the best MBA I've ever done. And really, he was a very big part of my journey to help me understand my strengths. And I also learned and became qualified in the disc profiling methodology as part of that work together. And I do this a lot now with my clients to really help them understand how to employ right, how to work to their strengths, which we can talk about more later. But let's continue on. Let me give you some education on DISC right now. Okay, so what have we got here? If you don't know DISC, or if you do, maybe you could just treat this as a nice reminder. We have a flat quadrant. This is not an up-down quadrant. Not one's better than the other. We are all built perfect the way that we are, and we all have strengths and we all have challenges. So on this side of the quadrant, we call these the directors or dominant side. We call these the influencer side. On this side here, supporter style and conservative or conscientious style. So this side of the quadrant is all about possibility. This side of the quadrant, so these are more the extrovert type personalities. I know you never would have guessed I'm an extrovert, right? More the extrovert. This side is more the introvert side. Now, we're not all specifically categorized in boxes. If you ever do this DISC or you've done it, process, you will know that you have elements of each, but we definitely have strengths and areas that we definitely gravitate to. Okay, so what have we got? So we can understand as a reminder, or if you don't know your DISC, let's start over here. No reason why other than this is a good place to start. Directors, CEOs, directors of companies, dictators of countries and leaders. This person is very much about the results. Get me the results. I don't care about the detail, get me the results. You may be one of these people, or you may know one of these people. So let's have a look at and I can email you this if you want this. It's in the program, in the Attract Clients Grow Sales program. However, these people are direct, firm, results-driven, strong-willed, visionaries, don't sleep much, and they wonder why people sleep too much. They're motivated by winning, success, and power, and their limitations, unless they become aware of, can be very impatient, very insensitive, and they can create a lot of mess, and a lot of other people have to clean it up. But they're great visionaries. The unaware director can create a lot of problems within their company. They can run their company, but they can run people on fear and run people by bullying and think that everyone should be like them. And so that can create a lot of problems. So as part of this training program to attract clients and grow sales and run a more successful businesses and career, if you are a director style, I would invite you to go on the hunt and have a look at, well, how can you, and we're going to talk about a little plan moving forward, is how can you be more understanding of other styles? Not always an easy thing to do when you're a director style, but the people that I've worked with that get this, they have the most healthy, robust companies with great teams and a great culture, and it's really worth the effort to develop that skill and awareness. These guys here, influencers, these people are great and they're very passionate driven. Sales, business development, speaking, emceeing, team leaders, managers, consultants. These are, people that are presenters, very strong, big personalities here. So these guys, they're enthusiastic, take action, they're encouraging, they're very supportive of people, a lot of influence, have a lot of supporter in them. I have a lot of this in my type personality. Very talkative, love to have a chat. You know, you go to a party and you will generally always know the influencer because they're generally the ones talking or possibly even doing the presenting, right? These people are very much motivated by socializing and relationships. They get filled up being with people, not emptied. I even know myself as an influencer, if I'm starting to feel a bit flattened down, I go to a networking event or go hang out with my friends and do stuff, I feel energized. Our limitations over here, and I'll say our because I'm one of these guys, we can be impulsive. I have worked on this, but a lot of influencers can struggle with completion. They have a lot of things going all at once, but don't complete, which has to be something that has to be really worked on. And follow through can lack in follow through. A lot of people in business development and sales are great at making the initial contact, but if they don't have the discipline to follow through and see the whole process through with skill and discipline and focus, which can be tough for these people, our results are going to be hindered. So these are the areas that we work on to help improve influencers be more successful and see the process all the way through. Okay, on this side of the quadrant, conservatives are conscientious, accountants, lawyers, bookkeepers, doctors, consultants, again, different type of consultants, analytical consultants, analyst consultants, actuaries. These people are very much driven by accuracy, stability, precision, analytical. They have a great attention for detail and quality and expertise and proven results. You know, my book that I've talked about has some spelling mistakes in it, and it's so interesting. And I know they're there because one of my messages is a good plan implemented is better than the perfect that's never. So there's some spelling errors in there. However, whenever people buy the book or they end up with the book, it's always the C Styles I find that the ones that are telling me about the spelling errors. So thank you, C Styles. Now these people, they're fantastic at accounting, numbers, detail, statistics, analytics. So these people though can be challenged with being overcritical. Everything's too risky. It can be very hard for them to take risks and promote themselves and market their businesses. They can isolate themselves and they get very afraid of getting things wrong. They have to do things perfectly. I had a gentleman, a bookkeeper client. We did a lot of work together to help him improve his marketing. And when it really came to the time that he had to we had a campaign where he was going to put an offer into all the business letterboxes to provide his services and do a lot of different things. He just couldn't do it. He was so afraid of putting himself out there because his psychology was so much about risk and what people would do and would he get it wrong. It didn't go anywhere. But I have another bookkeeper, lovely lady, great bookkeeping business. She has some director style in her, an influencer style in her. She is embracing it. She's embracing the support to hold her to account because she still has that introverted personality, but she's got enough awareness to say, tell me what to do, teach me what to say, tell me where to go, and I will do it. And she has gotten fantastic results in her sales, her confidence, her ability to sell, meet people, propose, get clients, get paid. It's been an outstanding journey to see her get these results. Well done. I think you know who you are if you're watching this. Okay, supporter style. Supporter style, very much assistants, nurses, beauticians, administrators, counselors, coaches can be, health workers can be very much supporter styles because they're nurturers. But these people, they don't like risk. They're very often challenged with, I was training a beauty company and all the beauticians, we needed them or we wanted them to call the client base, to invite them in, to say we hadn't seen you. The panic for them was just almost beyond control because they're risk adverse. They hate rejection. They don't like being put out in potential danger. We talked about beliefs in another video, the fear of, oh, so I could get hurt, what could happen to me? So knowing this model as a company leader and as a manager and even as yourself, to understand more than anything is who are you primarily and who are your team members and your colleagues and your employees and potential employees, so you can employ better, manage better, both yourself and others, so you can have a healthier, more successful business, no matter whether you're a one-person businesses or a large company. The power of understanding who you are and what your strengths are, what your natural talents are, and how you can improve them. I just know from experience with myself and many people that I've worked with doing this team profiling work together, how life-changing it is and how fun it is too when you get to learn and understand how different we all are. It's quite amusing, and there's lots of different games that we play to help people really understand who they are, and it's very, very empowering. And in this world that we are now living in, where we need to be different, we need to be more innovative, more than ever, we need to understand who we are, where we're good, what we can do, how we can work to our strengths, how we can feel happier, because we need to work, we need to be productive. So how can we enjoy it more? And how can we be led by people that are leaders watching this more effectively, as opposed to a lot of the old ways of managing people, which we don't want, right? We want to be innovative. We want to be forward thinking and really having healthy, rich, robust careers and businesses. Okay, so are you learning something? Is this helpful? Write notes down. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm going to show you some steps now. What can we do? What can we do to uncover our own strengths? Even though I talked about it a lot in the video, I've given you 7 steps here for you to act on. The first one is, if you haven't done it in the past, do your DISC profile. If you want, email me at info@trevorrussell.com.au. It's in the details below. I will send you a very simple spreadsheet. You can fill it in and I'll go through it with you and explain what it means. It'd be my pleasure to do that. And those of you that are in the Attract Clients Grow Sales program, we're already doing that work together anyway. Be open and accept we are all unique. And this very much, I have to say, is very much directed to you director styles and you director conservative styles, because very often you can have, say, the leader of a large accounting firm can be very much director DC style, can be very dominant, very powerful. And for those of you who become aware that your team might all be very high C styles and supporter styles, they're not going to conduct themselves and work in the same way that you are. And if you can understand that more, give them more support, you're going to have a happier, healthier team. And we're all unique, and it's okay. It's okay. I once was working for a company as a sales manager, and I was looking at the owner of the company, and before I knew this process and this profiling method, I used to look at him and go, why can't I operate like him? He is just on all the time. He has endless energy and drive, and he's able to do this, that, and the other. And then, you know what? I realized after I learnt this, he was an off-the-chart D, and he had his own problems too. It wasn't all good, let me tell you. And I realized that I was built differently, and I actually realized I didn't want to work like that. I didn't want to, do what he was doing anyway. It was just a kind of limited perspective and a very quick snapshot, before I looked at it completely to understand myself and what other people are doing. So this is all about awareness through understanding our profiles. Profile everyone, you, your team, potential employees. I consult to a company, and I support them also in helping them find potential salespeople, and wherever I can help position good people into their company, just as part of what I do. And what I do as part of that is I send them, anyone who's inquiring to apply, I send them the DISC profiler. And I will know very quickly if they're going to be suited for the role, or it's going to be on the edge, or just no way. And I figured that out pretty quickly now after having done hundreds of DISC profiles. Set a plan to move more to your strengths, meaning you might be like I was in my finance mortgage business, where a lot of my time, over 80% of my time, was in my area of weakness and challenge, which was C-style work. And I had to have that courageous kind of confronting conversation with myself, which I was in a way forced to go there just by the economy. Maybe, who knows, it was just meant to be eventually. But it made me have a look at what I could do to slowly move more to where I had natural strengths and talents and abilities. And you know, when you work in that place that you just love, whether you're a C or an S or a D or an I, it's like time stops. You can just do it. It just flows. And I'm sure you know that space. That is because you are in your place of natural talent and flow. You're just given those gifts. And it's a beautiful place to be. So why not develop a plan and get committed to start moving ourselves to places where we have more happiness and joy? I mean, at the moment, I think we only get one life unless you believe otherwise. So how can we make it better and more enjoyable and more productive and give us more of what we want? And I know that that comes so much more from when we work in our natural strengths and talents. Okay, watch Mr. Fear to keep you and keep us stuck. Might even need to be at the top. Again, as I talked about in the beliefs video, fear, our fear, Mr. Fear, is designed to protect us from a perceived danger very often that doesn't exist. And every time we are going to go through something that means change, Mr. Fear is going to pop up and go, danger. And what will he do or she do, whoever they are? Give us thoughts that stop us. Oh, it's too hard. Why bother? You could never change. You could never improve your role or move towards more of what you enjoy and where you're going to feel more satisfied, or whatever the stories that it tells us to keep us safe, very often stuck in places that are less than rewarding and effective for us. Make sense? Good. Okay. And to support that, get support to create a plan and take action. Whether it's someone like myself, or a colleague, or a manager, or a team leader, getting the support and understanding from this process as to what can you do to slowly but surely, or quickly even, move to your area of strengths and natural talents and possibly minimize and change, or maybe and eventually leave the things that you don't like doing. You just kind of might have ended up landing in it because you didn't know, but how can you make that move, and more so than ever, be held to account? Because a lot of us have great intentions first couple of days, first couple of weeks, but once the motivation weans off, we lose focus, we forget our goal, and we stay stuck. That is why I think a lot of people employ people like myself, more so than anything. Once they know what they need to do, is holding them to account to keep doing what they got to do until they get the learning and skill and knowledge, and fear says, oh, okay, we're safe now, and we go in a better direction. Okay. And last but not least, see yourself doing what you are built to do. Use our vision and a brain, and as you get a better plan going and deciding where you want to put more of your energy, or the thing that you want to learn and develop, maybe you want to create a whole new career because you know that what you're currently doing is not your natural talent and strength, and you might want to go and study and create a new skill, or upskill, or learn something, or change something. Seeing yourself doing it. Many, well, not that many, but once upon a time, I could never imagine doing videos or speaking and training and, consulting to companies and coaching and doing these things. But I started seeing it. I learned it off my coach. I developed the vision, and was it always perfect? No. However, if you watch this, I'm sure you get that. But it's such a simple thing to do, but it's such a simple thing. Actually, you know what? It's not always that simple to see what it is that we want to do and become. I believe at times we need to create it, and we need to develop the vision like a painting over time. But, putting our effort into it, the brain will start taking on the vision, and it'll help us to see that better direction that we want to go, where we are working more on our natural talents and the things that we want to change. Anyway, enough of that. So that's our disc profile. I hope you found that helpful in this training video. Have a think about, if you've already done this before, who are you? Where do you live in the disc profile world? And if you are not in my Attract Client to Grow Sales program, you can get hold of one of these books. Just email me, info@Trevor Russell, and I'll send you the details as to where you can get that. And I can send you the disc profiler so you can do it, and I can help you with that, or you and your team, so that you can work more to your strengths, have a more productive team, reduce conflict within the workplace, and we spend a lot of time there. So how about we make it a more enjoyable, fun place? And this works for everyone. I have done this process with everyone: directors, financial planners, accountants, beauticians, coaches, speakers, psychologists. We're all pretty much, we're all in there. Okay, thank you so much. If you've watched this far, I so appreciate you making the time and making a commitment to your learning, your development, your innovation, being able to be at the cutting edge of knowledge and information, or just good reminders of how to think better, how to act more productively, how to feel better, so we can have a healthier, more successful business and career is what I want for you, what I want for me. And it's been a pleasure today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video, where I'm going to be talking about and running training on how to power up your plan so you can achieve your ideal client and sales growth targets moving forward from here, and having a very simple but effective plan as to how to do that. Exciting, life-changing. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you soon.